Hi guys, hope everybody is well and having a good evening. Just thought I'd do a quick shave video today. I've only got 1 day's growth. The reason I'm doing it is I received this package today, courtesy of Matt at Timleless Razors, a great vendor to deal with, and he's actually provided us with this master kit in effect for everybody to try his wonderful product. So it comes in a beautiful box. And when you open up the box, I won't tip it all the way so everything falls out, but you can see it has a multitude of different pieces of equipment in there, all vacuum sealed. Basically what we have here is two handles, so we've got the 100mm handle and an 85mm handle, as you can see here and here. Beautiful handles, very well engineered, polished to a fine shine. All pieces of equipment from Matt are absolutely stunning. We've got two caps, or two top caps if you like. One which is the plain top cap and the other the scalloped top cap. And again, you can probably see my reflection in there. It's that well polished. There's beautiful engineering. You can actually see the matte finish underneath and the shiny finish, the matte either side of the middle and the shiny obviously in the middle. Again, the finish on both of these is exquisite, really no issues there with regards to how the razor is made. Then he's actually supplied us with three standard base plates, you could say, one of which is a solid bar. Oop, don't drop it. One of which is a solid bar, and this is the solid bar plate. Now all of Matt's base plates at the moment are set at 0.95mm for the blade gap. I also have a scalloped base plate, and just to be sure you can just see the side. I'm not sure how well you guys can make that out, but on the side you can actually see engraved. Pretty not making that out. On the side actually says T, and on either side 9 and 5 to indicate Timleless razor, and like I say, a 9.5mm blade gap. And the final base plate that's in the current range is the scalloped base plate. Now what Matt's also kindly sent us is a base plate, so that is the standard scalloped one. Matt's actually sent us this, which isn't currently on the market. This is the 0.68mm blade gap scalloped base plate, which I'm very interested in trying. Now currently, as you know from our other videos, I own the Timleless open comb scalloped head razor, and this is the standard 0.95mm blade gap. I absolutely love the handle, it's super grippy, finish is awesome. So what I'm looking forward to today is actually testing what I know with this razor out with some other base plates. Just to put things into perspective, I'm very much an open comb kind of guy. Why? Because my stubble's usually quite thick and heavy, and I just prefer the feel of the open comb, especially with the Timleless. So again, I said I was going to put it into perspective. What I currently own is a Wolfman open comb. This is on the ATT bamboo handle. I also own a fat tip Grand, and that's obviously open comb. I've also got the Icon open and closed comb head or razor, and the other two open combs that I own are both the ATT R1 and the ATT S2. So I have about 6 or 7 open combs in total. Those are just a few that I pulled out of my collection. I would currently put the Timleless alongside the Wolfman as my top 2 open combs for shave and finish quality. So moving on, what I'm going to do for you today, like I said, I already have experience of the open comb and the scalloped head. So I shall be trying the straight bar, one that like I said, I don't usually go for, but I've heard very good things about it. So I'm going to be trying the 0.95mm straight bar base cap for you guys. And I'm also going to be trying the 0.68, so the new, or what Matt is considering to bring out, the scalloped 0.68 base plate. So I'll be using each base plate for either side of my face and drawing conclusions from that. I will be using the same handle on both. I'm just going to remove my own Timeless OC head, and I shall be using the same blade, brand new blade on both, which is the Astra blade. Equipment wise, just to save a bit of time, I've got my Steve Woodhead scuttle here and my Shavemac LE M7 design, and I've got some Grandstaff Fern soap that I received as a sample. It's very nice. It's quite aniseedy. There's a bit of cinnamon I detect in there. The fern itself is more woody than like a fir or a coniferous tree. Yeah, very nice, and the lather itself always brilliant. So I've got my lather ready. What I'm going to do is quickly load up the Timeless razors and then give you guys a view of what both looks like. So if you bear with me 1 second. One thing that I've noticed the difference between the Wolfman and the Timeless, the main difference is how smoothly the thread actually connects to the handle. With the Wolfman, it is literally, it's just buttery smooth. I mean, that to me is a minor detail, but I know some people will find that to be a big factor with regards to their razor. So just something to consider. Other than that, the shave quality, I actually prefer the Timeless over the Wolfman. It's less fussy. Yeah, there's very, very little difference between them. So that's the 0.95mm loaded up with the scalloped head straight bar. And my second one here, will be the 0.68mm scalloped base plate with the scalloped head. So just load that up with the Astra blade for you now. Loading the blade into these loading the blade into these top caps is dead easy. They've got very solid and large tabs with which the blade actually fits in, and because of these tabs it is very secure. There is literally no movement with the blade, which is excellent when you're shaving against the grain or across the grain. In effect, there is zero blade chatter. I usually find with my own skin, with the grain, I hardly get any blade chatter, but it is the other two that create. So that's the two razors, both with the scalloped heads, both with the standard handle, and like I said, that's the 9.5 and that's the 0.68. So without further ado, let's make sure everything is, there we go, everything is there. I'm going to start with a face lather. I'm just going to move my light source so you guys can see exactly what's going on. This is a 2-band silver tip. This knot isn't actually available as a standard on Bern's Shavemac website. It's a unique density knot. I have actually shown this brush in a previous video. It's one of my favourites. They all are one of my favourites, to be honest with you. Zero scratch, good flow through, good backbone. Very plush on the face as a bulb. And this Grandstaff soap really performs wonderfully. I've got a very thick, slick lather there. Brilliant. Okay, so first pass is going to be width of the grain, so north to south on my cheeks and on my neck. So if I just dry my hands, I will start off with the straight bar 0.95mm. Now people have said this is equal to or better than the Wolfman straight bar, so I've got high hopes for this one. Let's have a go. Yeah. Angle, easy to find. Efficiency, very, 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 very good. Well, I have to buy this one. The wife's saying no. Look at that. Okay, so my impressions of the straight bar, given I've only done half of my face and one pass. Feedback, not as loud as the open comb. Comfort wise, very, very good. In fact, it felt like I wasn't even using a blade in the razor. Let's try the 0.68. This is the scalloped bar with the scalloped head. Much noisier. Okay, you get more blade feel than with the standard bar. More audio feedback. Slightly more efficient in the first pass. At the moment, obviously this is being a scalloped base plate, it reminds me more of my own OC a bit more than the standard bar. The two have a very different feel. The scalloped base, even at 0.68, is more apparent than the standard bar, but again, there's no irritation. The standard bar is buttery smooth. Honestly, that is very, very smooth, and actually similar. It's very difficult to put. It's not as smooth. It's not as light or as soft on the face as the EJ89, Edwin Jagger 89, but for a standard bar, that's a really nice feel. That is very similar to the Wolfman, set at 0.74. That's pretty damn good. So I'm going to just load up for my second pass. Please bear with me. I know my review at the moment is quite haywire. I will hopefully come to a conclusion towards the end of the shave. This pass will tell me a lot more about what I need to know with regards to the base plates. I'm going to add a touch of water to this lather. Perfect, there we go. Clear out the sideburns. Give that a bit of a wash. Right, so this time we're actually going to be going across the grain. So we'll start off with the scalloped at 0.68. Nice and loud. Alright, this is really smooth. This to me feels very much like the ATT R2, but it's more apparent with less. The ATT R2 during summer on my skin feels more aggressive than a lot of the open combs that I use, including the Wolfman. This is as apparent in terms of feeling the blade, but it feels a lot smoother. This has the ATT beat, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to use the standard bar, or sorry, say straight bar, 0.95 millimeters, and again across the grain. Yeah, this is Wolfman-esque. Look at that. That is smooth, comfortable. This hard part, well, in terms of my style, well, this is a hard part just under the chin, where anything that's not a stainless or a fat tip grind gets caught, chatters, you name it. This just glides through. Look at that. That's really nice. So feedback wise, not as loud as the OC. Comfort wise, I say a lot more comfortable. I don't get any discomfort with the OC. This is a whole different feel. Yeah, it's a whole different feel. This would be what I hoped the R1, the ATT R1 would feel like. This has got it nailed down to my specs a lot more. You feel the blade, but the blade doesn't feel you, if that makes sense. It doesn't get to your skin, it doesn't irritate you. It cuts. Look at the finish, not bad at all. Let's look at the finish with the scalloped. I think the scalloped's a bit closer than the solid bar, but I could do another 2 passes with the solid bar and have no issue. The finish is very, very good on both. I'm very, very impressed. I think if I was to compare the scalloped 0.68 with the open comb 0.95mm, audio feedback very slightly more with the open comb as you would expect. In terms of comfort, because of the blade gap being reduced, you feel the blade a lot more with the 0.95 than you do with the 0.68. But that's not to say you don't have any feedback or feel from 0.68. It's still there. It's just a little bit more comfortable. Not majorly in my opinion, but it's definitely more apparent. So if you found this blade, base plate to be aggressive or too aggressive, and you wanted something a bit less, then well, this is perfect. In terms of the straight bar, solid bar, 0.95. This is a bit of a game changer for me, to be honest, because I love my open combs, but I really enjoyed my shave with this. It's smooth, it's efficient, not as efficient as the open comb. I prefer open combs, but I would buy this simply because it's one of those razors that you would enjoy having in your rotation and using constantly. So yeah, a very good shave all said. I'm just going to wipe off. Okay. So something to match the scent of the Fern, Grandstaff Fern. It's something that's actually no longer available. I kindly had it gifted to me. This is